In the heart of the snowy, ever-white North Pole, where the icicles hang from every roof and sparkle brighter than a million diamonds, lived a very special but very small reindeer named Ruby. Now, Ruby had something no other reindeer had: a nose so bright it could outshine the reddest hollyberry. But she was missing something too. Unlike all the other reindeer, young and old, Ruby couldn't fly. Oh, she tried with all her might. She'd get a running start, her little hooves kicking up clouds of powdery snow. She'd leap and bound and wiggle her tail, but all she ever managed was a hop, a skip, and sometimes a rather clumsy slide that ended with her tangled in a snowdrift. It was her secret heartbreak every single night. As the moon climbed high into the inky sky, she would sit by her window, her chin resting on the sill, and watch the older, magnificent reindeer. They would soar and glide, tracing silver patterns against the stars. Practicing for the most important night of the year, Santa's Christmas Eve flight. Ruby would watch them, a deep ache in her chest, wishing with every fiber of her being that she could be up there with them, dancing in the starlight. One particularly frosty morning, the air so crisp it felt like you could snap it in two, the reindeer coach. A stern old stag with enormous antlers made a grand announcement. His voice boomed across the training grounds. Today, we will choose one exceptional young reindeer to join Santa's practice run this evening. A great honor. A ripple of excitement went through the young reindeer crowd. This was it. The chance of a lifetime. Ruby's heart hammered against her ribs. Maybe, just maybe, this was her moment. She took a deep breath, puffed out her chest, and decided to give it her absolute all. She lined up with the others, her eyes fixed on the launch ramp. When her turn came, she ran faster than she had ever run before. Her little legs were a blur. She gathered all her strength and jumped, pushing off the snowy ground with a mighty heave. For a split second, she felt a lift, a whisper of air beneath her hooves, ... and then, poof. She landed nose first in a giant, soft snowbank, sending a cloud of white powder everywhere. A few of the other young reindeer couldn't help but giggle. "Look at Ruby," one of them whispered. "She thinks she can fly." Ruby will never fly. The laughter, though not meant to be cruel, stung like icy wind. Ruby pulled herself out of the snowbank, her bright nose covered in white fluff, and her ears drooped. She lowered her head, the hopeful sparkle in her eyes dimming as she shuffled away from the crowd. But just as a tear was about to freeze on her eyelash, a warm, gentle voice called out from behind her, a voice that sounded like crackling fireplaces and warm gingerbread. "Ruby, my dear." She turned around and her jaw dropped. Standing there, with his kind eyes twinkling and his big white beard dusted with snow, was Santa Claus himself. He wasn't looking at her clumsy attempt. He was looking right into her heart. "Ruby," he said softly, kneeling down so they were eye to eye. "What makes you truly special isn't your ability to fly. It's not about your wings or your hooves. It's your heart. A heart full of hope and kindness. He reached into his big red coat and pulled out a tiny, delicate bell made of pure gold. It gleamed in the winter sun. He placed it carefully on a ribbon around her neck. "This is a believing bell," Santa explained. "It has its own special magic. When you truly, deeply believe in yourself, this little bell will ring." That evening, as the stars began to pop out one by one in the deep purple sky, Ruby felt a new sense of purpose. She didn't go to the training grounds. Instead, she quietly made her way up to the top of Snowflake Hill, the highest point in the North Pole village. From up there, the world seemed vast and quiet. The stars felt so close she thought she could almost reach out and touch them. She looked down at the little golden bell, then up at the magnificent night sky. Closing her eyes, she took a deep breath and whispered to the wind, "I believe in myself. I believe I can fly, even if it's just a little bit." With those words hanging in the frosty air, she started to run. She ran down the slope of Snowflake Hill, faster and faster, her little hooves barely touching the ground. She didn't think about falling. She didn't think about the other reindeer. She just thought about the feeling of the wind and the stars above. At the bottom of the hill, she leaped, and as her hooves left the ground, the tiny golden bell around her neck let out a clear, beautiful chime. Asterisk tinked. Instantly, magical golden sparkles swirled around her hooves, lifting her up, up, up into the air. She wobbled, she dipped. She spun in a dizzying circle. It wasn't graceful and it wasn't perfect, but it didn't matter. She was flying. She was actually flying. She laughed, a sound of pure joy that echoed across the silent snow. She danced between the stars, her bright nose lighting up her path, a little red beacon in the vastness of the night. When Christmas Eve arrived, the North Pole was a whirlwind of activity. The sleigh was packed, the elves were double-checking the list, and the reindeer were being harnessed. Santa walked down the line of his magnificent team, his expression thoughtful. Then he stopped, and his eyes found Ruby, who was watching from the side, her golden bell still glowing faintly. Santa's face broke into a proud, beaming smile. "Ruby," he called out, his voice full of warmth, "I need you tonight. There's a big storm brewing, and the sky will be dark. I need your bright nose to light our way, and your brave heart to lead the team." Ruby's own heart swelled with so much pride and joy she thought it might burst. The other reindeer looked on in amazement as an elf gently fitted her with her very own harness right at the very front of the sleigh. And as they took off into the night, Ruby's nose glowed brighter than ever before, a brilliant red light that cut through the swirling snowstorms and thick fog. She guided Santa's sleigh safely through the dark winter sky, ensuring every single gift was delivered. From that night on, Ruby wasn't just the reindeer with the bright nose. She became a legend, known to all as the little reindeer who learned to fly not with wings, but with courage, and all because she finally learned to believe that she could. Thanks for watching our story today. If you enjoyed Ruby's adventure, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more magical tales. See you next time.